Hi, this is Katie Arwood from the MCC Library on behalf of OneBook1County.com and MCC Reads. And I'm very excited to have my friend and colleague from MARC, Kristen Kohn, join us today.
Well, good morning. My name is Kristen Kohn. I am the director of the Montcalm Area Reading Council, and I'm also a lifelong resident of Montcalm County.
So, Kristen, tell me, what was your favorite book as a child?
I read all the time as a child, but my favorites were the Boxcar Children. I would look forward to getting my Scholastic book orders to look for the Boxcar Children newest book, and I collected so many of them. And I also loved the Little House series, and I was a big fan of American Girl books. Later on into middle school and high school, I really enjoyed any kind of historical fiction.
Oh, do you have an all-time favorite book?
Well, as I was thinking about this, my all-time favorite book has to be Charlotte's Web. I've reread it several times. In previous years, I taught second grade, and that is a read aloud that we do in second grade, so I got to reread it again. I've introduced the book to my children. We've read that together, and I think somehow that played into how I named my children, because my daughter's name is Charlotte. So I think that book impacted me in a way that I didn't even realize, and it's a name that I have in my house now.
So do you have an all-time favorite genre or a style of book you like to read?
I really like to read anything that's historical fiction. I'm a big fan of history, and so when history and fiction come together, that's one of my favorites.
Do you have favorite authors?
I do have some favorite authors which do not fall into that genre. Anything by Amy Krauss Rosenthal has been a favorite of mine, and I just love her style of writing, and she's just been a favorite. And Shel Silverstein poems have just always been a delight.
So there's always a debate. What is better, the book or the movie? And usually it's the book. But do you have a movie that you think plays off the book very well?
I don't necessarily have a favorite movie, but I will say that both Pride and Prejudice and Little Women, I've loved to see the different versions of how the book is interpreted through the different movie adaptions that have been done. That's been neat. I don't have a favorite, but I like to watch them all and just kind of see different people's interpretations of the book.
So have you ever read a book that you thought maybe you wouldn't like, but it turns out you did?
Well, I work inside a library now with my position with MARC, and librarians are tricky, and they will stick books out to get your interest, and you never know what it might be, but they're sneaky like that. And so I've run into a lot of books that the cover has caught my attention. It probably would not be something I would normally pick up. So I've had several books that have fallen into my lap that way because you got to watch out for librarians.
So since you mentioned libraries and being a sneaky librarian, I have to ask you, what are your thoughts about libraries?
I have always loved going to the library. It's some of my earliest memories, going into the library, knowing exactly where your books are shelved, and going to that place and pulling your favorites. There's also a lot of joy in just sitting and pulling things off the shelf. When you can only see the spine of a book, it's kind of a neat little surprise. When you pull the book out, you never know really what you're going to find. I have always enjoyed spending time in the library. Working in the library now, it's great. I'm there frequently, and so I'm always able to see new books coming in and patrons interacting with books, and I absolutely love that experience. And my kids enjoy visiting the library. I always offer to pick up books and bring them home, but they want to go to the library, and they want to seek out their own books and sit on the floor just like I did as a kid.
Very nice. So if you were a book title, what would that be?
Really probably depends on the day, but I think right now I would name myself How to Do It All. Survival of Motherhood. It's our lives are filled with stories, and some people are really great at writing those down and giving us wonderful things to read. I am not doing that right now, but I do think that there are some wonderful stories in our day-to-day life, and so that would be my book title.
That's perfect. Very perfect. So it was great having you visit the MCC library today.